Hi, my name is Amy Kellerman and I'm from Savvy Sugaring. This video is all about tips for successful facial sugaring. A few things you will need to know is that when you are examining the client's skin, you need to check when was the last time she's exfoliated, when was the last time she's used masks, when was her last professional facial treatment, getting all the information you need to know in order to make sure she's not going to get any facial reaction or breakouts and blemishes. Also finding out if it is a female, where she is in her menstrual cycle might also help you as well. If she's right before her menstrual cycle, chances are that she does have an increase of hormonal level, which means that that is also a stimulation to the oil production, thus a risk of getting breakouts. However, you would never tell a client, sorry, we can't sugar you because it's not the best time to do the facial sugaring. If she does get any reaction or breakouts, you need to prepare your client for what she can do at home and what you can do professionally. One thing I always recommend is making sure you're having a cold compress handy, such as a cold towel. And when you are done one area, put that cold towel on, as this will bring down the redness and inflammation of the skin, and it also feels very nice and calming and soothing for the client. And of course, having a mud mask. We have the Tamara's Hungarian mud mask. It is a dry powder when you first get it, and you're going to blend it into a lovely consistency such as this. And this is how it looks afterwards. And the way to blend it is taking a little bit of the dry powder, blending in a little bit of the after sugar lotion, which contains aloe vera and neem oil, and the body tonic, which is a liquid, and this is going to turn it into a perfect consistency. Having the body tonic is like a facial toner. It's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and it also neutralizes the skin's pH level. Applying this onto the skin at a room temperature is ideal because remember, we don't want to have it in the towel warmer, which you might do for other services. However, for facial sugaring, it's all about calming and cooling down the skin. So this is at room temperature. And that being said as well, when you're removing the mud does have a tendency of staining your materials or linens. So having, for example, scrummy towels is really handy because you don't want to stain any of your professional materials. So protecting your bed, when you're removing it, you can use these scrummy hand mitts. These are fully biodegradable materials made from natural wood fibers. They're also super luxurious, very soft, and very absorbent. So what that means is you would take 2 mitts, you soak them in warm water, and they will be the perfect absorbent material to remove that mask so that it removes nice and effectively without getting all over the place. And lastly, but not least, all the aftercare instructions for your clients. Making sure you give her all the home care instructions is very important so that you cannot stress enough how important it is that she keeps her skin calm and well hydrated, not running home and going swimming or putting makeup on your skin right away. Allowing the skin just to settle down and neutralize, making sure that she's not risking any reaction is ideal. If she does get any reaction, giving her the right recommendations for this is super important as well, and it sets you up as a professional, making sure that you are giving all the preparation tips and all the aftercare tips. This is super important for no reactions, really good results, and making sure she's coming back time and time again. So now we have our model here, and I'm going to show you how I prepare my client's skin. First things first, before we get started, we're going to apply one of these scrummy towels across her shirt, making sure that there's no sugar flying onto her clothing. So she's all ready. And now I'm going to cleanse her skin, taking approximately 2 pumps of the pre-sugar cleanse, emulsifying it in your hand so it gets a little bit foaming, and applying it everywhere to the client's skin. This is making sure we're removing all oils, makeup. If she does happen to have makeup, it's better to be safe than sorry and actually cleanse the skin 2 times. And then we remove it with a warm towel. Shaking it out, making sure it's not too hot. Now you really want to make sure that you're removing all the cleanser. Doing a proper cleansing is really setting you up for the perfect hair removal service. If there's any makeup products on the skin, then that can be a barrier between the effective hair removal. And then you can wrap it like this and just taking all the corners and crevices. Now we're going to apply the body tonic. And the body tonic is anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. You can actually tell your clients it's like a facial toner. So you can take a deep breath in and exhale and mist it generously all over the skin. So this is going to balance the skin's pH level of the skin. It's also hydrating the skin before you get sugaring. So you just help pat it all into the skin so it's completely saturated into the skin. Now you're going to apply next, which is the drying powder. And either you put it directly onto your hands or onto a little cotton pad. And I'm going to choose to use it on my hands like this, the quickest way, and actually the less messy way. So you apply it all over your gloves and you spread it everywhere. And since we have that to protect the clothing, it's not flying all over her clothing. And we just make sure the skin is completely covered with the powder so that there's no more moisture on the skin. We are done with the preparation and we're just going to examine which direction her hairs are growing in. So here they're growing all down, and as I look a little bit closer this way, they're kind of growing that way. So sort of in the letter C. Now this client's told me already that she doesn't want to go too close to the sideburns or the ear. So we're going to avoid that area. And what that means is that we do need to fade it a little bit so that it's not a clear, obvious edge that that's where we got sugared. So just making sure you're blending it. So I'm going to show you some tips on that. But first things first, we're going to either disinfect our gloves since I've touched the client's skin. We don't want to go into the sugar container with powder on my hands, and that's also cross-contamination. So either you get rid of your glove, you get a new one, or you wash your gloves or use hand sanitizer. I'm just going to throw it out. Get a new one for the sake of being just quick, but otherwise, of course, it's better to wash your gloves or to not touch the skin at all, holding it behind your back so you're not being harmful towards the environment. But now we have a clean glove, and I'm going to go ahead and select my sugar paste. Choosing what sugar paste is actually the most important thing for effective hair removal. Because if your paste is too hard, then you're not allowing the sugar paste to seep into the hair follicles. If it's too soft, it might be running all over the place. I actually have my sugar warmer heated at about 39 degrees and 38 on this side, which means that if it's an ideal temperature for me since I run a little bit colder. So I'm actually going to select a very small amount of the ultra sugar paste. That's my softer paste. Just a teeny tiny bit. And then I'm going to grab the smooth sugar paste. Just a teeny tiny little bit of that, and making sure I'm not dripping in the ultra into my smooth. We want it to stay smooth and ultra as ultra. So now I'm going to blend the two together. I have about 50-50 of each paste. Now why I've chosen to blend it is because I can see that she's got really nice skin. She's got very soft fuzzy hairs. That means I don't want it to be too hard and I don't want it to be too soft. Once I've gathered up some hair and dead skin into this paste, this consistency will not be the exact same. So if I was to choose only smooth, the smooth paste, which is the one in the middle between ultra and strong, smooth is in the middle. That means that if I use that, her skin is not perspiring in this area. If I use smooth, the paste is going to get too firm too fast. So that's why I've blended in a little bit of the ultra, which is the softest paste, together with smooth so that it maintains the perfect consistency for me to complete her entire face. So now let's get started. So coming in front of the hairs, I'm going to go at her jawline, coming in front of the hairs. So really stretch the skin, place some pause, and scoop all the way up. I'm going on an angle because, as I mentioned to you, here they start to curve into a letter C. So either you can go ahead and do that, go in the letter C, scoop it that way, and create that edge, scoop it up. Now coming to your edge, you need to really stretch the skin before you go off the skin, holding the skin taut, and flick it off. Stretching is super important. You need to stretch before you even put the sugar onto the skin. Why? Because it allows for that sugar to totally seep inside the hair follicle. Stretching it keeps the skin taut and comfortable. It keeps your client calm and confident, but it actually helps you with your technique in removing the hair. So now I'm going to carry on with the rest of the facial sugaring, where I'm going to do the chin, the upper lip, the nose, in the nose, brows, forehead, everything. If you'd like to take part in this sugaring course, I invite you to go to Savvy Sugaring's website, and you can find the link below. And I hope to see you in this course where you can learn facial sugaring confidently and effectively.